Have you ever stopped to think about what goes on behind the scenes at a huge concert or a packed stadium? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the incredible science and strategy that goes into keeping us all safe in a crowd. It's a world we've all been a part of, but probably never really seen.
You know that feeling, right? The bass thumping in your chest, the roar of thousands of people, all of you connected in one massive electric moment. It's a pretty amazing part of being human.
But what about just before the lights go down, or right after the final encore? Those moments when thousands of people are all trying to get in or all trying to get out. Well, for security planners, those are the moments that keep them up at night.
So let's get right into the heart of the problem. Every single large event, no matter what it is, has two phases that are more critical than any other.
They're called ingress and egress. Ingress is everyone coming in, egress is everyone rushing out. And these aren't just fancy words for entering and leaving. They represent huge, predictable waves of people. And that predictability, that's exactly what creates a window of opportunity for someone looking to do harm.
I mean, think about it. The start time is on the ticket. The end time is pretty easy to guess. Everyone knows where the main gates are. This creates these dense pockets of people, often gathering in areas just outside the official security checkpoints.
So you have to ask, why do these specific moments, people coming and going, get so much attention from bad actors? Well, the reasons are pretty chilling, and they all circle back to that idea of predictability.
It's really a grim kind of logic. For starters, attacking a crowd guarantees high impact. The people there are what security experts call soft targets. We're all excited, we're on our phones, we're not thinking about security. Plus, these areas are often totally exposed in public. And the goal for terrorists isn't just physical harm, it's about causing fear and disrupting our way of life.
And this leads us to a really critical concept, the gray space. This is basically a security no man's land. You know, it's that plaza outside the arena, or the walk from the subway station to the festival gate. It's this blurry area where the venue's security ends, but the crowd is still forming. Responsibility can get really fuzzy here.
And this idea isn't just theoretical. The Manchester Arena attack in 2017 is a tragic, real-world example. It happened during the egress, as people were leaving, in a foyer that connected the venue to a public train station. It was a classic gray space, filled with happy fans and their parents, and it was targeted for that exact reason. It was outside the main security bubble.
Okay, so to protect these vulnerable spaces, security teams have to do more than just put up a fence. They need to understand exactly what they're up against. Let's look at the main types of threats they plan for.
First up, there's the vehicle as a weapon, or VAW. What makes this so dangerous is that it's incredibly simple. You don't need special training or materials, but the potential for mass casualties is huge. And it's so hard to spot, because how do you tell the difference between a threat and just traffic?
Then you have what's called a marauding terror attack. This is all about speed and chaos. It's a fast, violent assault designed to hurt as many people as possible before police can even arrive. The goal is to create pure panic, and it's incredibly hard to stop once it starts. And of course, there's the improvised explosive device, or IED. These homemade bombs are terrifyingly versatile. They can be carried by a person, hidden in a backpack, or even delivered inside a vehicle. It's a constant threat that security teams are always on the lookout for.
Okay, that's a lot of scary stuff, I know. But we've defined the risks, so now let's talk about the playbook. How do security professionals fight back and make these huge events safe for all of us? It all comes down to a process, a cycle that never really ends. First, you have to understand all those threats we just talked about. Then you look at your venue and figure out your weak spots, especially during ingress and egress. Third, you put measures in place to control those risks. And maybe most importantly, you test everything. You review it and you revise it. You're always learning, always adapting. And here's a key takeaway. The best security starts with the design of the space itself. You're building safety in from the ground up. You create a clear perimeter, or a cordon. You design walkways to avoid those dangerous bottlenecks where crowds can get crushed. A clever trick is to use soft ticket checks way before the main entrance to start spreading people out early. And sometimes it's the simple stuff that makes a huge difference, like great lighting and just clearing away any clutter where a weapon or device could be hidden.
Now, to stop those big threats like a vehicle attack, you need some heavy-duty physical defenses. This is what's known as hostile vehicle mitigation, or HVM. You've definitely seen it. It's the concrete barriers, the steel bollards, or even just strategically closing roads around a venue during showtime. It's all about creating a safe bubble for pedestrians. But all the barriers in the world don't work without the human element.
Staff are trained to spot the telltale signs of someone scouting a location, and they're taught a brilliantly simple technique called the power of hello. Just walking up to someone who seems out of place and saying a friendly "Hi, can I help you?" can be an incredibly powerful deterrent. It lets them know they've been seen.
So let's put all these pieces together and see how this playbook works in the real world. We're going to walk through a security plan for a stadium to see these principles in action.
So check this out. Planners literally map out the journey of every single fan. On the left, you see the ingress plan. All the routes people take from parking lots and train stations to get in. On the right, you see the egress, how they all fan out to leave. Every one of those arrows is a potential risk that needs a solution.
And right here, this is that gray space we were talking about, all the public streets surrounding the stadium. The venue can't secure this on its own. It absolutely requires teamwork. Working with the police on traffic, with city officials on patrols, it has to be a single, coordinated effort.
Now we're getting closer to the outer concourse. This is the last stop before you go through the metal detectors. It's a super high-pressure zone. You've got dense crowds who haven't been searched yet, so staff here have to be hyper-vigilant for anything suspicious, all while making sure the line keeps moving to prevent dangerous crushes. It is a very, very delicate balancing act.
And that brings me to this one detail from the source material that really stuck with me. At one venue, the security team finishes every single one of their pre-show briefings with a chant. They all say it together. Not here, not today. It just says so much about the mindset, right? Behind all the tech and the tactics, it's just people, determined to protect us. So the next time you find yourself in a big crowd, maybe take a second to look around. You might notice the way a barrier is angled, or where the staff are standing, or how the lines are designed to flow. You'll be seeing the invisible science of safety right there in front of you, and you'll probably have a whole new appreciation for the people working to make sure we can all just enjoy the show.